You may be seated. Well, good afternoon, graduates, distinguished guests, faculty and staff, and all of the family and friends who could be with us today, and those attending via our live stream. Welcome to our beautiful campus and this very special day for our graduates. I am Dr. Tami Phillips, the Interim Director of Emory's Doctor of Physical Therapy program, and I would like to open this diploma ceremony for the Doctor of Physical Therapy class of 2022. On behalf of the faculty and staff, I want to say to our graduates that it has been a privilege and honor to teach and learn with you these past 3 years. While none of us could have imagined a global pandemic and the impact that would have on the unfolding of your DPT education, you demonstrated courage, flexibility, and grace during those uncertain months. You transitioned to virtual learning and a modified integrated clinical schedule and managed your expectations as clinical sites slowly reopened to students in 2021. While we did return to in-person classes, the ongoing changes in COVID guidance required that you demonstrate patience and adaptability. Your ability to navigate these challenges speaks highly of your character and professionalism, and you all should be very proud. There is a reason these graduation ceremonies are referred to as commencement exercises. It is because today is the day that you begin your education as you officially enter the profession of physical therapy. You possess the foundational knowledge necessary to enter clinical practice, and that is where you will continue. Congratulations to you all. It is Dr. David Burke, Professor and Chair of the Department of Rehabilitation Medicine, to welcome you all on behalf of the entire School of Medicine.
Thank you, Dr. Phillips. And again, welcome to you all on behalf of the School of Medicine. I welcome you to this wonderful celebration. You fought hard to get here. I serve as the chair of Rehabilitation Medicine, but also partner and colleague to the faculty who have brought you to this point and are here to celebrate with you today. And, I'm happy that especially that Dr. George Falk, our new director of the DPT program, has joined us. And so it's nice to see him in 3D after communicating with him by Zoom for all these years. So Dr. Falk, thank you for coming. And I do want to pause because this has been an extraordinary time and thank two people who have partnered with me for years in trying to move through the pandemic and to recruit someone as stellar as Dr. Falk. And so Dr. Johansson has spent hours and hours with me discussing every week how to revamp, reorganize, reboot, and repeat as we tried to redo the physical therapy program. And then Dr. Phillips is, as she's taken over in the last few months. So thank you both for all your effort. It was extraordinary, as you might imagine. So also want to make a comment to the parents who have supported the students for all these years. I know how extraordinary it's been that you have supported and been, been the people who have given strength and other support to the students, and you know what a marathon this is. So I think it's a celebration for you as well. And to the students who will be students not much longer, congratulations, and I think it's an extraordinary accomplishment that you're here today, enormous victory. So I encourage you to savor this moment and save it with the people who have helped you get here. So, and I thought about reminiscing about the last 30 years and all the extraordinary events that we've gone through, but I knew better. And I'll just end with this. I remember clearly 30 years ago when I was in one of the seats and about to take the stage, and I still consider it my greatest achievement to have gotten to that point and allow my father to say, "Congratulations, Dr. Burke." We have a photograph of that moment that's still on my desk. So I encourage you to take that photo and cherish this moment. So I'll keep it quick. I want to congratulate you all again, and again, it's students no longer in a few minutes. So I'll get off the stage and let you get on with the day.
Thank you, Dr. Burke. Unfortunately, Emory trustee Bishop Graves was unable to be with us today, so I would like to invite Rabbi Jordan Browning, the Jewish chaplain from the Emory University's Office of Spiritual and Religious Life, to offer the invocation.
What a moment to behold. Family, friends, and graduates gathered together. We read in the Psalms, Hine matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. How good and how pleasant it is to see brothers and sisters gathered together. Truly, after these past 2 years, it is an immense pleasure. And so before we move into the ceremony, before we begin the celebration, we take a moment to pause, to take a breath, and offer our thanks. Holy One, as we reach this milestone moment, we offer gratitude for all the blessings of our life, for a community of learning, for these individuals who prepare to bring healing into our world. Help us to be present in this moment, to savor it. As we remember those who are not here, those geographically distant, and those who have moved on from this world, allow us to welcome in their loving presence. They have shaped us. Even in their absence, they are here with us. Bless us in this gathering. Allow the pride and the gladness to spill forth beyond this space. Our cups are overflowing. Give these graduates who have dedicated their time and their energy, truly their lives, to the study of physical therapy, the surety and the confidence to do what they have been trained to do. Give them patience in these unsteady times. Give them strength and fortitude so that they can transmit the sense of resilience to those who they serve. Whether we are religious or not, let us all have faith in humanity's goodness. Help us to believe in the possibility of people helping people. Remind us that we all have a role to play in fixing the brokenness of this world. May we all, in our own ways, set about in doing the holy work of healing. And let us say, Amen.
It is now my distinct pleasure to introduce our commencement speaker, Dr. Lisa Van Hoos. Dr. Van Hoos is a clinical professor in the Department of Physical Therapy at Baylor University in Waco, Texas. She received her Bachelor of Science degree in Health Science and her Master of Science in Physical Therapy from the University of Central Arkansas, and her PhD in Rehabilitation Science and a Master of Public Health from the University of Kansas Medical Center. She completed fellowships at the University of Arkansas Medical Sciences Donald W. Reynolds Institute on Aging and the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute's Pride Summer Institute with an emphasis in cardiovascular genetic epidemiology. She has served as the president of the American Physical Therapy Association's Academy of Oncologic Physical Therapy and became a board-certified clinical specialist in oncologic physical therapy in 2019 as a member of the charter cohort. Dr. Van Hoos's influence on the physical therapy profession is evident in her numerous peer-reviewed publications and invited presentations related to the clinical management of patients with breast cancer, lymphedema, wounds, diabetes mellitus, and cardiovascular disease. Additionally, she explores systemic barriers and social inequities related to accessing healthcare, wellness programs, and resources, as well as those affecting disease management, progression, and stressors. She is a well-regarded and a dynamic speaker on these topics, as well as workforce diversification, professional formation, and diversity, equity, and inclusion. Dr. Van Hoos is highly involved in our professional and community service work, mentoring young youth, DPT students, and junior faculty. She consults with a variety of organizations, including DPT programs on diversity, equity, and inclusion, and founded the Ujima Institute, which aims to foster the interconnectedness of all people while also addressing equity and inclusion of all, particularly in the areas of health and wellness disparities. Dr. Van Hoos's passion, knowledge, and breadth and depth of professional interests reflect her deep commitment to physical therapy and society, and the work being done to improve healthcare access and outcome for the betterment of our patients. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Dr. Lisa Van Hoos.
All right, I almost had a wardrobe malfunction there. It wasn't going to be the Janet Jackson type, but I was a little concerned. I was like, let there not be blood. So yes. So good afternoon. Yes, and this will be interactive, right? Because I was listening to that bio, and like sometimes people read your bio and you're like, who are they talking about? And then the voice in the back of my head said, that's you, fool. She's talking about you. So yes, but because I will admit, I still get nervous with talking both domestically and internationally. I still get nervous, right? And so then therefore I need to talk to other humans so that way the voices in my head aren't like, run quickly before they know that they picked the wrong person. But no. But I am so excited to share time and space with all of the graduates and your family and your loved ones. And I'm very thankful to be able to be here today. But before we get started, we are going to take some time to recognize the land that we stand upon, the indigenous people and nations that cared for this land before we had the privilege of being here. We want to recognize their sacrifice, and we also want to honor and continue to support them. So regardless of where you stand on that issue, we're going to take 30 seconds, and if you want to take that 30 seconds to think about something else, that's okay too. But we're going to take 30 seconds. Thank you. All right, so thank you so much. Now I'm going to start off with a joke. All right, so here's the joke. A carrot, an egg, and a coffee bean enrolled at Emory University. And what became of them? Anybody got a response? I feel like I see one gentleman with his arms folded. He's like, I'm not even here for your foolishness. Just get on with this lady. So the answer is dinner. right? And so some of you are like, look here, Dr. Van Hoos, that's already mean, right? So that's kind of mean, but I'm going to ask you, give me some grace, give me some time to explain this. So when you study the word dinner, you will find that it dates back to the 1300s, right? And so dinner was actually breakfast. And for those of us who are from the South, we are fully aware of that, right? Now, so dinner initially was the first big meal of the day, y'all. And so as years have passed, we've allowed for dinner to get later and later. And some of that might be American work culture, right? Where you just like get as much as you can out of the people. They don't need dinner until later on. But dinner initially was the first breakfast. And so I ask you to stretch your imagination and see graduation as your dinner, as your first meal of being a physical therapist. It is your breakfast. This is your first big meal. And so if breakfast is typically eaten early in the day, when the sun is at or above the horizon, then recognize that your life as a physical therapist starts today, okay? There will be no more SPT behind your name, right? I was going to say SBBP, right? The short physical performance test, and I was going to ask y'all what it was, and I needed to know the MDIs associated with it. Somebody looked at me with horror. They were like, no more assessments. But no, but there will be no more student physical therapists behind your name. You are transitioning to DPT. So look to the person on your left and say, good afternoon, DPT. And then, yes, you already knew it. Look to the person on your right and say, good afternoon, DPT. Because the thing I want you to hear from me is regardless of what happens with your MPTE performance, and some of y'all are like, yeah, I'm already thinking about it. Makes your belly hurt, right? But regardless of what you do on that first time of taking the test, you are a physical therapist. Now, the MPT is going to dictate whether or not if you're licensed, if you get to practice, but it does not change the factor that you are a physical therapist. And this is your dinner. This is your breakfast. And so I want you to think about this. Think about, how do you feel as a DPT? Remember this moment. Because some of us are kind of old down this journey. Dr. Wolf. Right? And so you're going to see lots of horizons in your journey. And Dr. Wolf has had an amazing life and continues to have an amazing life as a PT and his impact on the profession. But this is your first horizon, your first dinner. And sometimes we get so busy with life that we forget that. We forget to enjoy the present, right? You're already thinking about the next thing. So what are some adjectives that you would use to describe this feeling right now? And this is not rhetorical. Talk to me. So what are some adjectives? Relief. What else? Surreal. I saw a finger clap on relief. She said the doors of the church are open. Yes. So relief, surreal. What else you got? Accomplished. Oh, and she took her mask off. She was like, hear me say that. I have accomplished this. What else? Resilient. All right. Now, I believe in an exit ticket, and I'm not going to move on until you give me two more, right? That's the teacher in me. What else you got? Two more. Proud. Who said that? Say that with your Kevin Hart chest, with a full chest. So can you say that for me again? She is proud. And one more. Humble. Oh, wait a minute, I heard humble, and what was the other? Grit. And he said that with, he was like, grit, right? And then I heard a humble. And I think when you think about those words that you use, think about the origins of those words. If it was grit, if it was resilience, if it was humble, if it was proud, if it was excited, if it was relief. What are those things telling you about your experience during your training? For remember, a carrot and an egg and a coffee bean enrolled at Emory University. And you are one of those items. So The Coffee Bean is a book that was written by John Gordon and Damon West. It is one of my favorite books. It is a short read. So if you're thinking about it and you're like, I heard all them letters, it's probably like 500 pages. No, it's like 30. It's a really great short read. And so it is full of wisdom and impact. And so the main character is a young man named Abe. And so Abe is facing multiple pressures in his life, and his teacher shares the story of the coffee bean with him during class one day. And the story changes Abe's life. All right. So here's how the story goes, and I'm going to read it so that I don't mess up a good thing. So a young woman went to her mother and told her about her life and how things were so hard for her. She did not know how she was going to make it, and she wanted to give up. She was tired of fighting and struggling, and it seemed as one problem was solved, a new one would arise. Let me make sure I'm speaking English. Her mother took her to the kitchen. She filled 3 pots with water. In the first pot, she placed carrots. In the second pot, she placed eggs. In the third pot, she placed ground coffee beans. She let them sit and boil, and her mother said not a word. In about 20 minutes, she turned off the burners. She fished the carrots out and she put them in a bowl. Then she pulled the eggs out and she placed them in a bowl. Then she took the coffee out as well. Turning her to her daughter, she asked, "Tell me, what do you see?" "Carrots, eggs, and coffee," is what her daughter said. She brought her closer and asked her to feel the carrots. And she did, and she noticed that they were soft. Then she asked her to take the egg and break it. And after pulling off the shell, she observed the hard-boiled egg. Finally, she asked her to sip the coffee. And then the daughter smiled as she tasted its rich aroma. The daughter didn't ask. She said, "Well, what's the point, right?" And the mother explained that each of these objects had faced the same adversity, the boiling water, but each reacted differently. The carrot went in strong and hard and unrelenting, but after being subjected to the boiling water, it softened and became weak. The egg had been fragile. Its thin outer layer had been protecting its liquid interior, but then after being in the boiling water over time, the inside became hardened. The coffee beans were unique because after they had been in the boiling water, they changed the water. "So which are you?" she asked the daughter. "When adversity knocks at your door, how do you respond? Are you a carrot, an egg, or a coffee bean?" So as you think about your training, it's probably felt longer than 20 minutes of boiling water. So we're going to acknowledge that. You like, well, look, I should probably be an egg because I've been boiling for a minute. But just work with me. So as you think about your training, did it soften you? Will there be additional self-care or therapy that you need to seek out to find your internal strength again so that you can offer your best self to the individuals that you are going to be blessed to care for during your practice years? If you're unsure, ask one of these people that came in this room to honor you. They can tell you if during your training you might have been damaged or traumatized and you might not have even realized it. Because that is one thing that we are recognizing as healthcare educators, that we've also got to do a good job of caring for you while we also care for ourselves. So ask yourself, is there something you need to do before you start caring for others? Now, what you will notice about the carrot is that the carrot softened, but the water did not change. Now, the other option is did your training harden you? Was this the strategy that you chose to use to make it through this journey? Well, you need to seek out self-care as well, because a hardened person will not be able to absorb the goodness of the human encounters, of the experiences that you're going to have with your multiple horizons of being a physical therapist. You might miss the opportunity to evolve, y'all, into your greatest self, because we are the products of genetics and environment. And so what's unique about that hardened egg is that it looks the same, right? When you look at a hardened egg, not the ones y'all mess up and cook too long, but when you look at a hardened egg, it looks the same, but it acts differently. And so once again, in that scenario, the egg changes, but the water, the environment, doesn't change. Now the question, the last one is, are you the coffee bean? Did you release your uniqueness on Emory? Your essence, your flavor, your fragrance, right? Your stagger, your swagger, all that goodness about you. Did the environment, the water, change because you were here? Did you change because you were here? Because what the coffee bean tells us is that the ideal situation is for you to change and the environment to change. The coffee bean is a story about how you handle the pressures of life. So you can be the carrot and you can soften and the environment just keeps on doing what it does. You can be the egg where you harden and the environment doesn't change. Or you can be the coffee bean that you change, but you also leave a little goodness behind. So the mission of the Division of Physical Therapy is to cultivate well-being of individuals and global communities through leadership in physical therapy education, discovery, and service. And so the definition of well-being is a good and satisfactory condition of existence. And so your experiences as a student physical therapist has shown you the realities of the world. You are fully aware that there are inequalities and inequities and that they exist. But you chose a program whose daily mission is training you to cultivate good and satisfactory conditions through your leadership. So here's my story. Do not expect your journey as a physical therapist to be cold or lukewarm waters. Because if you are going to hold to the mission of the training and of the place in which you were trained, you are going to be in some hot water. So some of y'all were like, that's not what I wanted to hear. We just left the hot water. I wanted to just be on the beach and get a paycheck. But that's not what a doctor of physical therapy does. Because you have to assist and partner with us, with community, to dismantle structures and systems if you are going to truly answer the commitment of this program and to also be a coffee bean. Now, you are going to be faced with a choice on each horizon of your days as a physical therapist. Will you be softened and turn away from that calling? Will you tell yourself that there is nothing that you can do to make a difference, that these problems are too big? Or will you harden yourself to protect yourself and comfort yourself? Will you ignore the social and structural factors that will negatively impact communities and their rehab potential? Or will you be a coffee bean and learn to strengthen your skills to release your goodness, share yourself with us, to change the environment for you and also for others? So I see some of you are not making eye contact with me because you like, ooh, she finna ask me which one am I gonna be, right? I am not. I am going to model kindness and give you time to process. But I hope that you will be the coffee bean. For each of us, not just the graduates, but each of you has a superpower. Each of you were called into existence for a reason. So I work at Baylor University, and we can talk about faith, and we can talk about how you were called for a purpose, and there are no mistakes. Each of you has influence and impact, for that is the definition of privilege. Everyone has privilege. But can you, I see this lady in the black dress with the polka dots, and she will make eye contact with me, so I'm like, I'm going to look at you. But can you use your privilege to change environments so that individuals, every individual, has the opportunity for well-being based on their definition of well-being? Not mine, not yours, not the populace, but their definition of well-being. In The Coffee Bean, Abe continues to use his story to make decisions throughout his lifetime, and I hope that you will read the book and allow it to influence your life and your decision-making. So I'm going to come back to the cheesy joke. So a carrot, an egg, and a coffee bean enrolled at Emory University. And what became of them, graduates? They became dinner. So as we celebrate your horizon, your graduation, you are also our dinner, our big meal of the day. But what will you offer to the community and to the world? Are you going to be a softened carrot? Are you going to be a hard-boiled egg? Or are you going to be a great, warm cup of joe, cup of coffee? Right? A cup of coffee that includes the essence of you in this wonderful place known as Emory DPT. Can you smell the aroma of your goodness and your program, your departments, your division's core values? And those are safety, rights, dignity, individuality, and power of the healthcare consumers, students and faculty, lifelong learning, integrity, ongoing attainment of excellence, and you will always be ongoing. So last year was a year of change for me. I became a fellow in the American Academy of Physical Therapy. This year, I became a fellow of the APTA, right? So there will always be new challenges, new attainments, new achievements. There will always be. Also, you talk about direct and constructive dialogue. So that means you can't be scared to get in the hot water. You can't be scared. If you're going to be direct, you got to jump on in. You talk about the power of a democratic process, the integration of your basic and clinical skills with best practices in clinical practice. You talk about the fact that you are preparing people for the future development of PT. I know I saw you yawn. I'm almost done, I promise. It's okay. A stretch is good for the soul. He's like, don't do that, lady. And then also you talk about modeling the best and the highest ideas of the physical therapy profession. Those are your core values. That's what they developed in you as a PT. But PT is just one of your identities. Now you get to intersect that with all your goodness, right? All of your cultural elements, because you will be the only PT that will be you in your lifetime of the profession. What is your name, young man? Robert. Robert's like, stop talking to me. So Robert, what is your last name? Kennedy. There will only be one Robert Kennedy, DPT, from Emory, who will do the things that Robert does. That is it. And that is the truth for each and every one of you. So if you want to be a coffee bean, you are already on your way. So as your colleague, right? Because no more SPT. And as a coffee lover, should probably say addict, because I do 5 cups a day easy. Easy. I know, so you already judging me, but it's okay. And I'm close to half a century of living, so it's not changing. I look forward to partaking of your goodness, of your journey, if you choose to be a coffee bean. Because at any time in life, we can choose to be a carrot. We can choose to be an egg. But I ask you each day, wake up and try to be a coffee bean. Because I would like to pass on the soft carrots and the hard-boiled eggs, personally, and get the good cup of Joe. So I want to thank you for allowing me to be part of your journey. Congratulations. And we welcome you into the profession and your new horizon. Congratulations.
Well, thank you, Dr. Van Hoos, for joining us today and for your thoughtful remarks. So we now come to the part of the ceremony that I know you've all been eagerly awaiting, and that is the presentation of the diplomas to our graduates receiving their Doctor of Physical Therapy degree. Yes, woos are good. Now, a reminder of how this process will proceed, because the students or graduates know I like housekeeping. I will be assisted by my colleagues, Drs. Beth Davis, Marie Johansson, Tricia Kazar, Ben Rogozinski, and Laura Zajac-Cox. So graduates, when your row is called by Dr. Davis, you can remove your masks and you will follow Dr. Zajac-Cox up in alphabetical order to the right side of the stage. You will then hand your card to Dr. Zajac-Cox, who will then instruct you when to walk across the stage, so basically when your name is called. You're going to stop in the center of the stage where you'll be greeted by Drs. Johansson and myself, and then you're going to hand your hood to Dr. Johansson. Once your hooding is complete, you will pick up your own diploma cover. Just one. Not 2, not 3, 1. I know you've been here a long time. We're just trying to cut down on the germs a little bit, so you're going to pick up your own cover. And then you're going to walk to the far end of the stage where Miss Becky Stein will be there to take your professional photograph. And this photo is a small gift from our program to you. And this allows your families to remain seated and enjoying the moment instead of trying to rush up to the front and take a picture. And then Dr. Kazar will be waiting for you over there to make sure that you know which way to exit, and you'll go back to your seats and put your masks back on. All right, finally, this is the last instruction, and this is the hardest one. We request the audience to hold your jubilation and your applause until after all the graduates have received their diplomas, so that every graduate and their families, both here and on the live stream, can hear their names being called. Right? And as is our custom, we are going to start with our dual degree graduates and then proceed in alphabetical order. So Dr. Davis, will you come and lead us?
Will the first row of graduates please rise and walk forward? Graduates are receiving Doctor of Physical Therapy. I keep feeling like it's going to come back. They're going to receive Doctor of Physical Therapy and Master in Business Administration. The first graduate, Rika Silene Jatosho, receiving the Zohair F. Kapazi Award for Excellence in Leadership, and also graduating with highest honors. Megan Lee Renfro. Corey James Rodrigo. Receiving the Susan J. Herdman Award for Excellence in Clinical Practice and the Ian H. Tobin Scholarship Award. And now, receiving Doctor of Physical Therapy and Masters in Public Health, Elizabeth Suzanne Edson. Receiving the Director's Award for Academic Excellence and also graduating with highest honors. Jamie Fleshman. Receiving the Excellence in Service Award, the Frank S. Blanton Humanities and Rehabilitation Scholar Award, and the Journal of Humanities and Rehabilitation Equity, Diversity, Inclusion, and Humanism Scholar Award, also graduating with honors. Robert A. Kennedy. Cheryl Murba, graduating with honors. Bridget Onabuge Alexandria Ochuko, receiving the Francis A. Curtis Excellence in Community Service Award, the Susan J. Herdman Award for Excellence in Clinical Practice, and the Journal of Humanities and Rehabilitation Equity, Diversity, Inclusion, and Humanism Scholar Award. Whitney Stroop, receiving the Excellence in Service Award and the Francis A. Curtis Excellence in Community Service Award. And the remainder of the graduates will be receiving Doctor of Physical Therapy awards, or degrees, I'm sorry, and awards. Nicole Ann Bedell. Zach Alton Barron. Alexa Bayevich, receiving the Pamela Catlin Award for Excellence in Clinical Inquiry. Jessica Boos, receiving the Pamela Catlin Award for Excellence in Clinical Inquiry. Paige Bouvier Brinson. the next row of graduates please rise and come forward? Kristen Buffkin. Kayla Bird, receiving the Director's Award for Excellence in Growth Mindset. Catherine Carter, receiving the Zohair F. Kapazi Award for Excellence in Leadership and the Excellence in Service Award, also graduating with highest honors. Ryan Chin. Rachel Clenny, graduating with highest honors. Shannon Marie Klaus. Taylor Kakuza. Allison Elizabeth Druffel. Natalie Ray Farr, graduating with honors. Corey Ferguson, graduating with honors. Monica Marie Furrer. Noam Sohn Firestone. Victoria Florzik, receiving the Director's Award for Excellence in Growth Mindset. Emily Four. Abigail Freund. Will the next row of graduates please rise and come forward? James Russell Gall. Hallie Gohegan, receiving the Susan J. Herdman Award for Excellence in Clinical Practice, graduating with honors. Abed Ali Guzawi. Billy Ryan Gill. Stephanie Granke, graduating with highest honors. Melissa Hamby, receiving the Director's Award for Academic Excellence and the Pamela Catlin Award for Excellence in Critical Inquiry, graduating with highest honors. Nella Handak, receiving the Johnny Morgan Award for Excellence in Clinical Science. Kendall Henry, receiving the Johnny Morgan Award for Excellence in Clinical Science and the Ian H. Toven Scholarship Award, graduating with honors. Michaela Deanna Hayward. Oh. Emma Hilton. Catherine Hines. Savannah Grace Hood, receiving the Zohair F. Kapazi Award for Excellence in Leadership. Daniel Iddings. Hey Tung Jim, graduating with honors. And will the next row of graduates please rise and come forward? Maria Christina Calasuntis, graduating with highest honors. Joanna Keller. Robert Kirby. Shiyu Lin, receiving the Pamela Catlin Award for Excellence in Critical Inquiry, graduating with highest honors. Jana Ariel Marshall. Lillian Grace Martella, receiving the Johnny Morgan Award for Excellence in Clinical Science. Kyla Tanae Maxwell Brown, graduating with honors. Karen McCarthy, receiving the Director's Award for Excellence in Growth Mindset. Allison Meyer. Julia Allison O'Leary. Ngozi Ogbonna. Bamyul O. Grace Packer. Drudy Mukesh Patel, receiving the Susan J. Herdman Award for Excellence in Clinical Practice. And will the next row of graduates please rise and come forward. Rashna Patel, receiving the Excellence in Service Award and the Pamela Catlin Award for Excellence in Critical Inquiry. Shrung Tin Fan. Susan Keithley Rains, graduating with highest honors. Ashton Ritchie, recipient of the Francis A. Curtis Excellence in Community Service Award. Madison Robinson, receiving the Director's Award for Excellence in Growth Mindset. Graduating with honors. Chelsea O'Hara Rodriguez, recipient of the Pamela Catlin Award for Excellence in Critical Inquiry. Peter San Pedro. Christina Sanchez, recipient of the Excellence in Clinical Science Award. Jonathan Sandberg. Jenna Rochelle Schneider, graduating with honors. Marini Smith. Charlotte Carmel Sylvester, receiving the Director's Award for Academic Excellence, graduating with honors. Emily Teresa Tarnacki, recipient of the Francis A. Curtis Excellence in Community Service Award. Anastasia Tui, graduating with highest honors. And will the next row of graduates please rise and come forward? Tyler Williams. Nicole Zellner, recipient of the Francis A. Curtis Excellence in Community Service and the Director's Award for Academic Excellence, graduating with highest honors. Fang Zhou. I am honored to be the first to congratulate the Emory DPT class of 2022. Good job. Thanks for holding in the jubilation. Anybody else? Did we get them all? Yeah. I told y'all it was hard. They've been storing it up there for that last, 30 minutes or so. All right, I do want to recognize our final graduates who unfortunately could not be here today. Don't worry, though, they're fine. Amber Boss graduated with highest honors, and Young Jun also graduated with his Doctor of Physical Therapy today. Right, so I think it's worth saying again, on behalf of the faculty and staff, congratulations, Doctor of Physical Therapy class of 2022. We are really proud to welcome you to our profession as our colleagues. So the class of 2022, a couple of weeks ago, nominated Dr. Katie Carter to offer remarks on behalf of the class of 2022. Now, earlier this week, I had a chance encounter with Katie's parents. And I found out a little bit about their third child of 4. So I'm going to tell you a little story. No, actually, I'm not. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that to her. But for all of you who love and know Katie, just imagine her as a 5-year-old. Not much has changed, which is exactly why you nominated her to be your class speaker. So it's really no surprise. And it's now my pleasure to invite her to the podium to give her remarks.
I didn't think my mouth could get any drier. That made me very nervous, thank you. Looking good, guys. Hello, now that you know, but my name's Katie, and for the last 3 years, I've had the pleasure of being the president of this lovely class that you've all come here today to celebrate. And I need to start off by getting something off my chest. I really hate public speaking. As a middle child, which again you now know, my safe space is out there with you all, and not up here on this stage with all these expectant faces waiting for me to say something deep and inspiring. Or maybe you're hoping that there's some dad jokes in store. Got it covered. Honestly, I'm a little surprised to be up here. I thought you all would have needed a break after hearing from me for years of emails and relentless surveys. Upon learning that I had been selected, I was flattered. But that nice fluffy feeling turned to sheer panic as T-minus 5 days before boards, when the speech was due, I realized I didn't know if I had anything to say. For what does one say to truly impart the weight and depths of our experiences over the last 3 years? So I turned to Google, like any good millennial. And interestingly, the most common piece of advice listed was to never ever open with a definition of some relevant word. Too cheesy, says the internet. But Merriam-Webster defines graduation as the award or acceptance of an academic degree or diploma. And originally, I was just going to include that definition as part of the joke, but I truly do think it's lacking. What are we all doing here? Is it really just to accept a piece of paper signifying that we've learned what we've come here to learn? I realize it's unfair to critique a dictionary. It seems like a pretty one-sided argument. But in simplifying this day, boiling it down to a mere transfer of documents, we lose the nuance of what graduation has meant to us throughout our time in the program, what it means to us sitting here today, and what will it mean to us reflecting back as future clinicians. Because I don't know about you, but the congratulations that I've received on stage from some of our amazing faculty who have challenged and changed us, the pictures I'll take with you all and the laughs we'll share later, the bottles of champagne we'll clumsily uncork tonight, each of these moments is much more meaningful than the acceptance of a diploma that I will forget to dust someday. Merriam-Webster also fails to capture the conflicting mix of emotions we're experiencing right now. Elation, relief, fear, apprehension, nostalgia, regret, joy, exhaustion, pride, and maybe even a little bit of imposter syndrome even now. In their nature, I think graduations are really one of the best examples of a bittersweet celebration. But we do have so much to celebrate. And what a group to get to celebrate with. I'm not sure if it's the nature of the people drawn to this profession or Emory's admissions team just did a very excellent job, but I've never been surrounded by such a warm, caring, curious, and passionate group of people. Even on our tougher days, and there were definitely some tough days, for each individual in this cohort, I can think of an example of a time when they reached out a helping hand or took on part of someone else's load as to unburden a friend, classmate, professor, patient, stranger. And the culture of this has never been, if you crack my back, I'll crack yours. Everyone has always shared to benefit the entire class, even if it was study materials or quizzes that they spent hours on working on themselves. There is always a shoulder to lean on or screen for pathology at 10 p.m. the night before a manual practical. And both the high quality of education we received here and the lifelong friendships we leave with, these will serve as our roots to face the real world as we're challenged to grow as both clinicians and individuals. There's a great quote by Eddie Canton that goes, "Slow down and enjoy life." It's not only the scenery you missed by going too fast, you also missed the sense of where you were going and why. If you've been getting nostalgic while reflecting on the past or zooming ahead as you listen and you're imagining what the future will hold, I want you to stop. We've been doing too much, too quickly, for too long. So for now, just sit and really feel yourself in your seat, in the silly hat, the comforting touch of polyester against your neck. Take a moment to soak in all you have accomplished and how far we've come together, because we really have come so far. From being worried about how to take a blood pressure or palpate the AC joint or figuring out what the heck's an omohyoid, we've come a long way. Think about how you sat and faced faculty on your interview day. How you sat in class from 8 to 5 days a week. How you sat in clinics, hospitals around the country as you waited to meet your CI on your first day of a new rotation. How we sat in our pro-metric assigned seats and bet 12 weeks of hard studying against 250 standardized questions. And one day, how you'll sit in front of your first patient. While this time together has flown by, it has not by any means been a passive process. I want you to think of every class that forced you to hold yourself to a higher personal standard. Think of every professor that inspired you, every patient that changed you. And my hope for us all, and my main point of this speech, address, whatever it is that I'm attempting to do right now, is that I hope in moving forward from this poorly dictionary-defined celebration, you remember to slow down just enough so that you never forget your why. But for now, just sit and enjoy being together as a class for the very last time. Thank you.
Well, for someone who doesn't enjoy public speaking, I think she did a smashing job. Thank you, Dr. Carter. And now I would like to welcome DPT faculty member Dr. Beth Davis to greet you on behalf of Emory's Alumni Association. Can't believe I was going to keep that on. Whew. Distinguished Emory DPT graduates, as a proud Emory Physical Therapy alum, I have the privilege of welcoming you formally to the ranks of alumni of this great university and great program. While your cherished status as students may have ended all too quickly, you will each bear the title of Emory Physical Therapy alum for the rest of your lives. Today, you join a dynamic group of individuals more than 153,000 strong. Would everyone in the audience who is an alumni of Emory University's physical therapy program, except today's graduates, please stand and be recognized? Thank you. Please be seated. And would the class of 2022 please stand to be recognized as Emory's newest alumni? Thank you. You can be seated. Class of 2022, we hope that you, like your fellow alumni, will maintain ties to the Emory Physical Therapy program, will help build its future, and will always feel at home here. As your colleagues, we know that our program has imparted values and as well as knowledge, and we look forward to witnessing the leadership you will provide in the physical therapy profession. Wherever you go, you will always be a part of the Emory physical therapy community and will take a little of Emory with you. As you make your mark in this world, stay in touch, stay involved, visit often, and please let us hear from you. We wish you well and offer our most sincere congratulations to each of you in the Emory DPT class of 2022. Thank you, Dr. Davis. Before I invite Rabbi Jordan Browning to offer the benediction, I would like to thank you all for joining us today, both in person and online. And graduates, I would like to offer you the opportunity to stand and applaud your family and friends who have supported you during your education and are celebrating you again today. All right, and because we're physical therapists, and I wanted you to have a repetition of standing up and sitting back down, and now you're going to stand back up, and I'm going to offer you the opportunity to applaud the faculty and staff who provided you an excellent educational experience. All right, now for my last procedural note. After the benediction, we would like you all to please remain standing while the platform party recesses from the stage, followed by the faculty and graduates. Guests of the graduates, you may exit after that. And we would like to invite everyone to enjoy some light refreshments upstairs on the plaza level. Graduates, when you head out, you'll be greeted and you're going to head out the door because it's not raining yet from what I can tell. There's a set of stairs there where you're going to have your pictures taken in your academic regalia, and then you can join your families upstairs. And now please stand and join me in welcoming again Rabbi Jordan Browning to offer the benediction, closing this ceremony for the Doctor of Physical Therapy class of 2022.
I don't know if it's the time of day or Dr. Van Hoos's commencement address, but I would have never in my life wanted a cup of coffee quite as badly as I do right now. And all that's separating us are a few words of prayer. It is not easy to figure out how to say goodbye to one another, but the great teachers of my tradition, when it came time to take leave of each other, would offer these words of blessing and intention. May you live to see your world fulfilled. May your destiny be for worlds still to come. May you be filled with hope for generations yet to be. May your heart guide you with insight. May your mouth speak words of wisdom. May your tongue be filled with praises. May your vision be straight before you. May your eyes shine with the light of learning. May your face reflect the brightness of the heavens. May your lips express understanding. May your whole being rejoice in righteousness. And may you always run to hear the words of the timeless one. And let us say, Amen.